Good day, everyone. I am Christine De Jesus. Are you ready to learn science with me? That's great. But before we start to our discussion, I have a question for you. Did you know that millions of years ago, all the continents on Earth were actually one huge continent or supercontinent? Millions of years ago, the 7 continents of the world were joined together as a single massive landmass called Pangaea. Scientists believe that Pangaea broke apart through plate tectonic movement caused by the convection current that roll over in the mantle. So, our topic for today is all about plate tectonics. So what is plate tectonics? Plate tectonics is scientific theory that explains how major landforms are created as a result of Earth's subterranean movements. So, plate tectonics explains how major landforms are created. So, what is a landforms? Landforms is a natural feature of Earth's surface such as mountains, valleys, and volcanoes. They also include coastal features such as bays and underwater features such as ocean basins and mid-ocean ridges. So plate tectonics explains how those landforms are formed. What is plate? Plate is a large, rigid slab of solid rock formed from the lithosphere crust and upper part of the mantle. Plate float on the slowly flowing asthenosphere, the lower part of the mantle, and it also includes both the land and ocean floor. So according to the plate tectonics model, the entire lithosphere of the Earth is broken into numerous segments called plates. So that is the plates. Plates are made up of oceanic crust and continental crust. So, we have 7 major plates: the African plate, Antarctic plate, Eurasian plate, South American plate, Indo-Australian plate, North American plate, and lastly the Pacific plate. What drives plate tectonics? Plates movements is due to convection currents in the mantle. So, scientists believe that the plate's movement is due to convection currents in the mantle. So, what is convection current? Convection current is a current in the mantle because of the heat from the inner layers of the Earth. So, convection current move in a circular motion. So based on the image, this arrow represents as a convection current. And the hot soften the rocks and turn into magma, and it is located in the mantle. So ang katong rocks is ma-turn into magma, mahilis siya. And then, located siya sa mantle. Then, heat and pressure within the earth cause the magma to flow in the convection current. So, ang katong init ug ang pressure makes makuanag magma nga ma-flow into the convection current. So, the magma will rise to the surface. Sunod sa arrow, ma-rise siya to the surface, then spreads, and then begins to cool, and then if mukul na siya, mabugnaw siya, it will sinks back down and to be reheated and it will rise again. So mag-circle na siya. So musunod ra na siya sa convection current. So ang convection current is kanang arrow nga nag-circular motion. So this current caused the movement of the tectonic plates. How plate tectonics affect our planet? Alfred Wegener, a German meteorologist, proposed a theory that about 250 million years ago, the continents were once one large landmass. He called this Pangaea, a Greek word which means all earth. So this picture shows how Pangaea evolved into how the continents look like today. So moni ang Pangaea, the kaning first picture. Then this Pangaea started to break into smaller supercontinents called the Laurasia and Gondwanaland. So man ang sa second picture mo na ni ang Laurasia and Gondwanaland diri sa Triassic 206 million years ago. And these smaller supercontinents broke into the continents. So ang kadtong duha nga continents na broke pa jud siya into another continents. And then these continents continues to separated and drifted apart. So hangtod nagkaanam-anam siya ug separate, nagkabuwag-buwag siya until today, the present day. Mao na ni ang makita sa ato world map. Next. Okay, we have different types of plate boundaries. So, each plate is slowly but continuously moving in different directions. Some are moving toward each other. It can be moving apart. And some are moving slide past to each other. So there are three types of plate boundaries. The divergent plate boundary, convergent plate boundary, and lastly, the transform fault boundaries. So first, we have divergent plate boundary. Divergent plate boundary is formed when plates move apart, creating a zone tension. So based on the picture, it is obviously that the plates are moving separately or moving into different directions. Na-separate siya. Ang plates separated, moving apart. Then, what are the geologic features that can be formed out from the divergent boundary? So first, we have Rift Valley. So, ang Rift Valley, mo na ang resulta sa plates nga nag-diverge, nagbuwag. So, nara sa picture, nagkuan ang Rift Valley. Mo na ang formation sa Rift Valley. So, Rift Valley is created when two plate boundary are diverge. And then the second one is the mid-ocean ridge. So that is the mid-ocean ridge. So, then, second, we have convergent plate boundary. Convergent plate boundary is a boundary in which two plates move toward each other. So, take a look to the picture. The two plates are moving toward to each other. So, pasugat sila. And then, we have three kinds of we have three kinds of convergence plate boundary. So first, what are the geologic features that can be formed out from the convergent boundary? So mauna ni ang tulo ka kinds of convergent plate boundary. First, we have oceanic crust and continental crust convergence. So, when oceanic and continental collide or converge, oceanic plates slides under the continental and bends downward. This process is called subduction. The oceanic crust will always subduct. Why? Nganong mo ang oceanic crust man ang mo bend downward? Because oceanic crust is naturally denser. So, mas bugat ang oceanic crust kaysa sa continental crust. So, mauna ni ang pag-form sa volcano. So, the oceanic crust will subduct, bend downward under the continental crust. And then, it will form a magma, and the magma will rise and leak into the crust, forming a volcano. So, manani ang hinungdan nga nung naatay volcano karon. And then, next, we have the continental and continental convergence. So, when two continental plates converge, duha ka both continental plates converge, a collision zone is formed. There will be no subduction, no volcano, and definitely no island arc are created. Instead, what is created is a mountain. So, walay subduction nga mahitabo between sa continental and continental convergence because both are almost the same dense. And then, once ka mag-push na sila each other, mag-create na sila o kanang like kanang murag bukto-bukto. So, mauna na ang formation sa mountain. Inig-collide sila, magbukto-bukto nga murag nga taas. So, mauna na ang formation sa mountain. Mauna na. That is the reason why we have mountain today. So, many mountains. Then the third one is the oceanic and oceanic convergence. Oceanic and oceanic convergence create a volcanic island arc. So, mag-create siya og volcanic island arc when the oceanic and oceanic crust will converge. Next, we have transform fault boundary. Transform fault boundary produced when two plates slide past each other. So, ang transform fault boundary is when two plates are sliding past each other. Dili siya mo converge, dili pud siya mo apart, mo slide past each other. Mao na ang difference between sa katong tulo. And then, the best example of transform fault boundary is the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault marked the location in the North America and Pacific plate that slide past each other in a horizontal motion. So, mauna siya ang example sa transform fault boundary, ang San Andreas Fault. So, kana siyang mga picture is best example of transform fault boundary. So, okay, summary. Entire lithosphere of Earth is broken into numerous segments called plates. So, na-discuss na nato ganina. Then, there are 3 types of plate boundaries were formed: divergent, convergent, and transform fault boundaries. And divergent boundary is formed when plates move apart. Then, convergent boundary is present when 2 plates collide. And then, transform fault boundary when 2 plates sliding past each other. So, ang divergent boundary is moving apart. Ang convergent boundary is nagkolide sila duha, nagsugatay. Then ang transform fault boundary is nagsliding past to each other. So mato ang differences between the 3 types of plate boundaries. So, plate tectonics give rise to several geologic features and events. So, mao na to ang mga formation sa mountains, sa volcanoes, sa mga rift valley because of plate tectonics. Nato mga mountain karon, natin mga volcano karon because of plate tectonics. So, our country is blessed with so many land features such as mountains and volcanoes. These features can be sources of different minerals. It can also be a spot for tourism and other purposes. We have many geologic features existing today because of plate tectonics. Okay, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you gain a lot of knowledge from my discussion. Okay, stay safe and goodbye everyone.